Have you ever found yourself standing at a crossroads, feeling the weight of your dreams pressing down on your chest, yet also feeling the powerful urge to give up? That voice inside, whispering that maybe it's time to let go, to accept that certain goals are unattainable or simply no longer worth the effort. If so, you're not alone. We've all faced moments where hope seems elusive, where persistence feels like an uphill battle, and where the temptation to surrender appears irresistible. But what if I told you that these current struggles, this very struggle to stay the course, is the crucial test of whether your dreams will live on or fade into oblivion? Throughout history, some of the greatest thinkers, artists, scientists, and leaders have faced seemingly insurmountable obstacles. Carl Jung, one of the most influential psychologists of all time, believed that within each of us lies a deep well of potential that reflects our true selves, the parts of us that yearn to grow, to transform, and to realize our innermost visions. But Jung also warned that our unconscious mind, filled with fears, doubts, and unresolved conflicts, can sabotage these aspirations unless we learn to confront and integrate these elements. In this journey of understanding, there's a poignant truth. The moment you stop trying is often the moment your dreams slip away, lost forever in the shadows of regret and what-ifs. Perseverance isn't simply about stubbornly pushing forward. It's about understanding the deeper forces at play, the psychological and spiritual battles that threaten to derail us, and having the resilience to keep moving forward despite them. Sometimes it's about re-examining our fears and moments of weakness with compassion and courage, rather than letting them define our outcomes. Think about those dreams you've pushed aside, the projects left unfinished, or the ambitions that seem just beyond reach. What happens when you hit those inevitable setbacks? Do you see them as signals to reassess and grow stronger? Or do you allow them to convince you that your efforts are futile? The truth is, the difference between those who achieve greatness and those who fade into complacency lies not in the absence of obstacles, but in the refusal to give up, no matter how hard it gets. Jung's insights remind us that our subconscious holds both our aspirations and our fears, bound in a delicate dance of encouragement and resistance. When we learn to listen to this inner dialogue and embrace the parts of ourselves we might otherwise hide or suppress, we gain the power to reignite our passion. To keep trying, even when everything inside seems to suggest surrender, is an act of profound self-trust, a testament to the belief that our dreams are worth fighting for. So today, I invite you to reflect on your own journey. Do you feel the drive to pursue your dreams, or are you on the verge of giving up? Whatever your current state, understand this. The choice to persevere is not always easy, but it is vital. Your dreams are not just whimsical ideas. They are your soul's calling, your purpose waiting to be fulfilled. And the keys to keeping that spark alive lie in understanding your mind, your fears, and your unwavering resolve. Stick with me as we delve into the wisdom of Carl Jung and explore how to harness your inner strength, confront the fears that threaten to extinguish your hopes, and ultimately, learn how to keep your dreams alive. Because once you understand what's at stake, the true cost of stopping trying, you'll realize that refusing to give up might be the most important act of love you can do for yourself and your future. When we think about our motivations, our desires, and the obstacles we face on the path to achieving our dreams, one of the most profound forces at play is the unconscious mind. Carl Jung believed that beneath the surface of our conscious awareness lies a vast, intricate reservoir of thoughts, feelings, memories, and instincts that shape our worldview, influence our behaviors, and drive our deepest longings. This hidden realm is not just a collection of random thoughts. It's a powerful, dynamic aspect of your psyche that has a profound impact on your ability to pursue your dreams, especially during times of struggle. Jung referred to this inner reservoir as the unconscious, but he distinguished it from simply being something you're unaware of. Instead, he saw it as a vital and active part of our psyche, containing both personal memories and archetypal images, universal symbols and patterns shared across humanity. These archetypes, such as the hero, the mentor, or the shadow, serve as templates that influence how we see ourselves and our potential. They act like deep programming, guiding our reactions, our decisions, and even the stories we tell ourselves about what's possible. One of the key insights Jung offered was that the unconscious mind is both a source of wisdom and a source of resistance. It holds the knowledge of your authentic self, your true passions, and your potential. But it also harbors fears, doubts, and unresolved conflicts that can prevent you from acting on those aspirations. If ignored or misunderstood, these unconscious elements can become barriers that subtly or overtly sabotage your efforts to reach your goals. For instance, deep-seated fears of failure, fear of rejection, or feelings of unworthiness might be tucked away in the unconscious, only surfacing during moments when you're close to a breakthrough. Understanding this dual nature of the unconscious, its capacity to both inspire and hinder, is essential if you want to persevere through setbacks. When you encounter difficulties on your journey, these are often amplified by unconscious resistances. For example, the fear of succeeding or fear of change can paralyze your efforts, even if your conscious mind is eager and motivated. Alternatively, feelings of guilt or shame rooted in past experiences can quietly erode your confidence, making persistence seem futile. Jung believed that becoming aware of these unconscious influences was vital for personal growth. Through introspection, dreams, active imagination, or therapeutic practices, you can begin to uncover what lies beneath the surface. Once you shine a light into the shadowy corridors of your unconscious, you can start to understand the hidden motivations and fears that are holding you back. This awareness is not about judgment, it's about understanding and dialogue. As you become more conscious of these inner forces, you can work with them consciously rather than letting them unconsciously sabotage your efforts. Furthermore, Jung emphasized that the process of individuation, becoming your true self, involves integrating these unconscious parts into your conscious awareness. When you acknowledge your fears, your doubts, and even your darker impulses, you gain a sense of wholeness. This wholeness, in turn, fuels resilience. You begin to see setbacks not as insurmountable obstacles, but as opportunities to learn more about yourself and to strengthen your resolve. This understanding of the unconscious also underscores the importance of patience and compassion towards yourself. When you encounter moments of doubt or fear, it's a reflection of your inner landscape, not a sign of failure. Jung suggested that to persist, you must listen to your inner world with curiosity and kindness. By doing so, you cultivate a deeper self-trust. Trust that even the parts of you that seem to resist are trying to protect or inform you in their own way. The power of the unconscious mind, then, lies in its ability to shape your reality through what is hidden. Your thoughts are not always your own in the way you think. They are influenced by archetypes, inherited symbols, and unresolved conflicts that have been passed down through generations. Recognizing this can be liberating, because you realize that much of the struggle with persistence is rooted in these unconscious patterns. Once you identify and understand them, you have the power to change your internal script. In practical terms, this means paying close attention to your dreams, your intuitive feelings, and your spontaneous thoughts, because they often reveal unconscious truths. It also entails cultivating mindfulness and self-awareness, so that you can observe how your inner world influences your outer actions. Over time, your conscious effort to understand and work with your unconscious becomes a catalyst for resilience, allowing you to maintain your pursuit of your dreams, even when external circumstances seem difficult. Ultimately, embracing the power of your unconscious mind is about recognizing that your inner world is a vital part of the journey. It holds the keys to motivation, fears, and insights that can either propel you forward or hold you back. The more you understand this hidden realm, its strengths and its vulnerabilities, the better equipped you are to harness its energy, confront your fears to it. In our modern society, we are constantly bombarded with messages that reinforce the idea that success should come quickly and effortlessly. Whether it's social media posts showcasing overnight celebrities, viral videos claiming to teach you how to get rich in 30 days, or advertisements promising instant transformation through a simple product or program. The narrative is loud and persistent. Success is just a matter of trying a little harder for a short period of time. This myth has seeped deep into our collective consciousness, creating a distorted perception that meaningful achievement should be immediate, or at least happen relatively quickly. But this couldn't be further from the truth, especially when it comes to achieving anything truly valuable or transformative in life. Carl Jung, along with countless other wise thinkers, understood and emphasized that real growth, whether personal, spiritual, or professional, requires patience, perseverance, and a willingness to endure setbacks. The idea of instant success is a modern illusion, a seductive mirage that can trap even the most dedicated individuals into believing that effort should always be met with quick results. When these quick promises go unfulfilled, feelings of frustration, disappointment, and failure often follow, discouraging people from continuing their efforts. One of the core reasons this myth persists is because our minds are naturally drawn to shortcuts. The human brain seeks efficiency. It prefers easy wins and rapid gratification. Evolutionary psychology suggests that this tendency was advantageous in ancient times, when quick action was needed for survival. However, in the context of personal mastery or creative pursuits, this predisposition can become an obstacle. We begin to think if we aren't succeeding immediately, then something must be wrong with us or our goals. We forget that most worthwhile accomplishments, whether mastering a craft, building a business, healing emotional wounds, or cultivating inner peace, are journeys that unfold over months, years, or even decades. The obsession with instant gratification has also been amplified by technological advancements. The rise of social media has created a culture where snapshots of success, beautiful houses, luxury vacations, impressive careers, are displayed as if they are the norm and available at the click of a button. This constant exposure fuels a false expectation that we should be able to replicate such success quickly, or worse, that it's simply a matter of the right hack or shortcut. It's easy to lose sight of the fact that behind every seemingly overnight success story lies years of grinding, failures, setbacks, and relentless persistence. Jung himself often pointed out that true transformation is a gradual process. Patience and persistence are essential components of spiritual and psychological growth. He believed that the psyche does not change overnight, and meaningful change is characterized by incremental progress rather than sudden leaps. This process of gradual unfolding may feel slow or frustrating in the moment, but it is the only way to develop genuine maturity and resilience. When we embrace this truth, we learn to honor the process rather than desperately chase quick fixes. Furthermore, believing in the myth of instant success can lead to a pattern of giving up prematurely. If someone invests a few weeks or months into a project or a new discipline and sees little immediate progress, they may interpret this as a sign of failure, deciding to abandon their pursuit altogether. Jung would argue that this impulse to abandon effort prematurely is rooted in the unconscious desire to escape pain or discomfort, because growth often involves facing discomfort, making sacrifices, and persevering through uncertainty. There's also the danger of attaching our self-worth to immediate results. When success feels instant, it's easy to tie our identity and confidence to external validation, likes, shares, praise, rather than internal growth. But true strength and resilience are developed by enduring setbacks and understanding that progress is often invisible at first glance. The seeds of lasting achievement are planted over time, cultivated with consistent effort, patience, and an understanding that setbacks are not signs of failure, but vital parts of the learning process. Jung emphasized that inner development requires a long-term outlook. The process of individuation, becoming your authentic self, is a gradual unfolding. People often underestimate how much work it takes to integrate different parts of oneself, confront shadows, and align with one's purpose. This process is not linear. Setbacks, doubts, and regressions are natural. What matters most is the willingness to stay committed through the inevitable periods of darkness, understanding that the true reward comes from persistence and inner dedication. Another crucial aspect to consider is that the pursuit of dreams and authentic fulfillment often demands developing skills, gaining knowledge, and overcoming fears, all of which take time and repeated effort. Rarely does someone wake up one day and suddenly become an expert or a success story overnight. Instead, success is built through consistent small steps, each one adding to the foundation of your growth. These small steps might include daily practice, continuous learning, reflection, and resilience, elements that cannot be rushed. Furthermore, the myth of instant success diminishes the value of the journey itself. Every challenge you overcome, every failure you learn from, and every small victory along the way. In the journey toward realizing your dreams, one of the most profound and often overlooked aspects is confronting what Jung called the shadow. The shadow represents the parts of ourselves that we tend to suppress, deny, or ignore, those aspects that we find uncomfortable, shameful, or unacceptable. It's the collection of traits, feelings, impulses, and memories that we prefer not to acknowledge because they challenge our self-image or threaten to expose our flaws. Many of us carry unconscious fears or beliefs about ourselves that act as barriers to perseverance. Sometimes these are rooted in childhood experiences, societal conditioning, or personal failures that we haven't fully examined or integrated. The shadow is not inherently evil. Rather, it is a natural part of being human, comprising the traits that we perceive as negative or undesirable. Jung argued that understanding and integrating these parts is essential for authentic growth and psychological wholeness. Facing the shadow is not an easy task. It requires courage, honesty, and a willingness to look inward without judgment. Often, our reluctance to confront the shadow manifests as self-sabotage, procrastination, avoidance, or self-doubt. These behaviors serve as internal resistance, protecting us from uncomfortable truths. Yet, beneath this resistance lies a vital key to persistence. When we deny the shadow, we also deny ourselves access to the full range of our inner resources and strengths. For example, a person striving to succeed professionally might unconsciously harbor feelings of inadequacy or envy, which they attempt to hide. These feelings can surface as subtle self-sabotage, procrastinating on important tasks, dismissing compliments, or sabotaging relationships that could support their growth. If left unexamined, these unconscious patterns can severely hinder progress, causing the individual to feel stuck despite their efforts. Jung believed that the process of integrating the shadow involves honest self-reflection, dialogue, and acceptance. When you recognize and accept the parts of yourself you once judged as negative, you disempower their hold over your actions. This integration allows you to harness the energy of previously suppressed impulses, like ambition, passion, or even anger, in a constructive and conscious way. Instead of being a source of shame or self-destruction, these aspects become allies in your quest to persevere through challenges. Confronting the shadow also means acknowledging your fears, especially those related to failure, rejection, or inadequacy. When these fears are kept hidden, they often operate in the background, influencing your decisions without your awareness. By bringing them into consciousness, you gain the power to address and transform them. For example, if you have a deep fear of failure, you might avoid taking risks that are necessary for your growth. Facing this fear head-on, examining its origins, and understanding that failure is part of growth can drastically change your approach to obstacles. This process of shadow work often involves exploring your dreams, your spontaneous thoughts, and your emotional reactions. Dreams, in Jungian psychology, are considered the royal road to the unconscious. They can reveal hidden fears, suppressed desires, or unresolved conflicts that are holding you back. Paying attention to the symbols, themes, and emotions in your dreams can provide insight into what parts of your shadow need acknowledgement and integration. Jung also emphasized the importance of compassion and patience when dealing with the shadow. It is never about self-criticism or self-judgment, but about understanding and acceptance. The more you resist or reject these parts of yourself, the more they tend to unconsciously rule your life. However, when you accept that these hidden parts are simply aspects of your human nature, you neutralize their power and open the door to authentic growth. Integrating the shadow is an ongoing process, not a one-time event. It demands consistency, humility, and humility. As you persist in this inner work, you build resilience because you no longer rely solely on your conscious identity or your self-image to guide you. Instead, you develop a deeper self-awareness and self-compassion that fuel perseverance during difficult times. This awareness also shifts your perspective on setbacks and failures. Instead of seeing them as purely external threats or signs of inadequacy, you recognize them as opportunities for deeper self-discovery and growth. When you confront the shadow and accept your imperfections, you no longer see obstacles as insurmountable, but as necessary steps that help you refine your character and strengthen your resolve. In Jung's view, thriving in the face of adversity requires honesty with oneself. It involves embracing the full spectrum of human experience, our light and our darkness. Each time you face and integrate a shadow aspect, you reclaim a piece of your authentic power. This process transforms internal resistance into resilience, making it easier to stay committed and persistent in the long run. Ultimately, facing the shadow isn't just about removing obstacles. It's about deepening your relationship with yourself, cultivating inner harmony, and aligning your conscious efforts with your true nature. Within the vast landscape of the human psyche, Jung identified recurring symbols, themes, and roles, universal patterns that he called archetypes. These archetypes are not just personal traits or fleeting ideas. They are deep, collective motifs inherited through centuries of human experience, embedded in the collective unconscious. They serve as fundamental templates that shape our perceptions, behaviors, and motivations. Recognizing and understanding these archetypes can be a powerful key to unlocking resilience and sustaining your drive in the pursuit of your dreams. Imagine the archetype of the hero. It is a universal model of courage, perseverance, and transformation. Every culture has stories of heroes who venture into danger, endure trials, and emerge transformed. Within each of us, this archetype resides, an inner calling that whispers, "You are capable of greatness." When you tap into this heroic archetype, you discover an innate source of strength and motivation that can propel you through setbacks and failures. It's the part of you that refuses to give up, that pushes forward despite exhaustion or fear. Similarly, the archetype of the warrior embodies discipline, focus, resilience, and courage. The warrior does not retreat in the face of adversity, but confronts challenges head-on. When your motivation wanes and you feel like quitting, invoking the warrior archetype can reinvigorate your resolve. It reminds you of the importance of showing up, of standing your ground, and of fighting for what truly matters, whether that's your purpose, your loved ones, or your personal growth. This archetype encourages you to develop grit, to persist even when the path becomes steep and uncertain. On the other hand, the sage archetype represents wisdom, insight, and clarity. In moments of doubt or confusion, connecting with the sage can help you gain perspective on setbacks and see the bigger picture. It encourages patience, reflection, and knowledge, reminding you that perseverance often involves understanding that growth is a gradual process. When you're tempted to abandon your efforts because results aren't immediate, the sage archetype provides reassurance that wisdom and success are born through patience and continuous learning. There is also the archetype of the creator, an inspiring force that fuels imagination, innovation, and vision. The creator archetype motivates you to explore new possibilities, to innovate, and to bring your unique vision into reality. When facing obstacles, invoking the creator can help you see failure not as an endpoint, but as a necessary component of the creative process. It reminds you that setbacks are simply unfinished masterpieces waiting to be refined through perseverance. Additionally, we have the caregiver archetype, which brings compassion, nurturing, and altruism into focus. This archetype can motivate you to persevere for the sake of others. You might push forward because your loved ones depend on you, or because your work serves a higher purpose. It's the part of you that cares deeply and can inspire sustained effort on behalf of something greater than yourself, reinforcing a sense of inner duty and meaningfulness. While these archetypes are universally present within us, their activation depends on awareness and intention. They can be accessed consciously during times of difficulty to rekindle motivation, or they may naturally emerge in your thoughts and actions when you need them most. Sometimes, thinking of yourself as a warrior in moments of doubt can temporarily boost your resilience. Other times, imagining yourself as a sage seeking wisdom can help you patiently endure setbacks. This isn't about pretending to be a hero or warrior, but about recognizing that these roles are part of your psychological toolkit. Embodying an archetype doesn't mean adopting a false persona. It's about connecting with the qualities that archetypes represent, which already reside within you at some level. When you consciously align your mindset with these archetypal energies, you activate their strengths and virtues, which can be immensely motivating. The powerful aspect of archetypes is that they tap into a collective cultural consciousness, stories told across generations that reinforce these roles. For centuries, stories of heroes overcoming adversity, creators innovating despite failure, and wise sages guiding others have inspired countless individuals. You, too, carry these stories within your psyche, waiting to be awakened and harnessed in your pursuit of dreams. Recognizing archetypes also helps you understand the narratives you tell yourself about your capabilities. Are you thinking like a victim, a quitter, or a cynic? Or are you channeling the archetypal qualities of resilience, courage, patience, and creativity? The stories you resonate with, whether from mythology, history, or personal experience, serve as internal scripts that influence your motivation. By consciously choosing to step into these archetypes, you can rewrite your internal narrative and foster a mindset rooted in strength and perseverance. Furthermore, embracing archetypes provides clarity and purpose in times of struggle. When you see yourself as a hero fighting for your dreams, setbacks become part of the hero's journey, a test to prove your resolve, to develop your character, and to achieve transformation. Even when you're deeply committed to your dreams and have overcome many obstacles, there exists a silent, often invisible enemy lurking in the shadows. Complacency. Unlike overt failures or external setbacks, complacency is a subtle attitude of comfort and contentment that can creep in gradually, lulling you into a false sense of security. It whispers softly that enough has been achieved, that further effort is unnecessary, or that the current state of progress is sufficient. This seemingly harmless mindset can stealthily erode motivation and derail your long-term pursuit of your goals before you even realize what has happened. Complacency often arises during periods of relative success or when the road begins to feel smoother. After enduring hardships and moments of intense effort, the mind naturally seeks relief and comfort. You might start to believe that the hard part is over, or that your current achievements are the pinnacle of what is possible. This attitude can manifest in different ways: slowing down your efforts, neglecting areas that need growth, or giving in to distractions that divert your attention from your core purpose. You may tell yourself, "I've already come this far," or "I deserve a break," and justify a decrease in effort. The danger of complacency is that it blinds you to the subtle signals of stagnation and discourages continuous growth. When you settle into a comfort zone, you stop challenging yourself, and your skills can plateau. The momentum that carried you forward begins to fade as you lose the urgency and discipline that fueled your perseverance. Over time, small lapses accumulate, and what once seemed like temporary setbacks become embedded patterns of procrastination, distraction, or disengagement. This attitude also fosters a distorted perception of progress. Success, in the early stages, often feels tangible and measurable, but as you move deeper into your journey, the external signs of growth become less obvious, and complacency can tell you that enough is enough. This false sense of achievement prevents you from pushing your boundaries and exploring new frontiers. When complacency takes hold, risks are deemed unnecessary, and the motivation to innovate or improve wanes, leaving you vulnerable to competitors or changing circumstances. Furthermore, complacency frequently feeds into a cycle of self-satisfaction that can be difficult to break. When you begin to feel satisfied with your current accomplishments, you may adopt habits that hinder further progress, such as delaying challenging tasks, avoiding uncomfortable feedback, or settling for mediocrity. These behaviors diminish your capacity for resilience and hinder your ability to adapt to new challenges. The longer this cycle persists, the more entrenched it becomes, leading to stagnation and a decline in motivation. Jung's insight reminds us that inner growth and perseverance require vigilance against complacency. Success doesn't mark the end of the journey, but a pause, a moment to reflect, reassess, and reignite your purpose. When you become aware of this insidious trap, you can consciously choose to cultivate humility and curiosity, recognizing that the path of mastery and achievement is ongoing. It's crucial to routinely examine your motives, habits, and progress, asking honest questions such as, have I plateaued? Am I pushing myself as I did at the start? Are I still aligned with my deeper purpose? When moments of comfort threaten to lull you into complacency, consider adopting a mindset of continuous learning and experimentation. Celebrate milestones, but view them as stepping stones, not final destinations. Embrace the idea that growth is a perpetual process, an endless cycle of setting new goals, facing new challenges, and expanding your potential. Remember, the greatest achievers are often those who remain humble in their success, always seeking new ways to improve and deepen their contribution. Developing a sense of internal discipline is critical to resisting complacency. This means maintaining consistent routines, seeking feedback, and challenging yourself to go beyond your comfort zone regularly. It also involves cultivating awareness of the subtle cues that indicate complacency, such as a decrease in enthusiasm, boredom, or a feeling that "I've already done enough." Recognizing these signals early allows you to course correct before complacency becomes a destructive force. Another way to counteract complacency is to revisit your core why, the fundamental purpose that drives your pursuit. When your motivation is rooted in a compelling vision or a sense of calling, it becomes harder to settle for less. Connecting deeply with your why keeps your passion alive, reminding you that your journey is about more than external achievements. It's about fulfilling your potential and making a meaningful impact. The risk of complacency is heightened when external circumstances seem easy or stable. However, external comfort can be a false indicator of internal growth. In fact, true resilience is often tested precisely during times of relative peace. Resting too long on past accomplishments or current comfort can set you up for unexpected setbacks when new challenges arise. Staying vigilant and committed to continuous improvement helps ensure you remain adaptable and ready for whatever lies ahead. Life's most profound transformations often come not from smooth sailing, but from the adversities and obstacles we encounter along the way. When we think about perseverance, it's easy to focus solely on the goal itself, the end result. However, Jungian wisdom and timeless stories from cultures worldwide reveal that it is precisely the trials and hardships that carve the deeper meaning of our journey. These challenges serve as the crucible in which our true character is formed, and they are essential to transforming desire into reality. Many of us tend to view obstacles as external threats, a sign that we should stop, turn back, or reconsider our ambitions. Yet a different perspective reveals that these trials are actually integral to our growth. They are not random misfortunes, but carefully designed tests that push us beyond our current limits, forcing us to confront our fears, doubts, and vulnerabilities. Jung believed that confronting these difficulties allows us to integrate those parts of ourselves we've neglected or suppressed, ultimately leading to greater self-awareness and resilience. When you face setbacks, it's tempting to become discouraged or to see failure as a sign you should abandon your dreams. However, from an archetypal perspective, setbacks are an essential part of the hero's journey, an initiatory experience that toughens your resolve and clarifies your purpose. Each struggle you encounter contains a lesson crafted to prepare you for the next stage of your development. These trials often feel painful, but they serve as catalysts for growth, strengthening your mental, emotional, and spiritual muscles. In moments of difficulty, remember that every obstacle is an opportunity for inner alchemy, a process Jung referred to as transformation. Your perseverance becomes a means of transforming pain, disappointment, or failure into insight and strength. When a door closes, it forces you to look for alternative routes, fostering creativity and resourcefulness. When faced with rejection or failure, your resilience is tested, but it is also cultivated. The more you persist through adversity, the more you realize that setbacks are not dead ends, but stepping stones, parts of a greater design shaping your character. The concept of the hero's journey essentially encapsulates this truth. Throughout myth and legend, heroes venture into unknown territory, confront monsters or internal demons, and emerge wiser, stronger, and more authentic. These narratives mirror our own experiences. Our struggles are, in essence, internal battles that refine us. Jung emphasized that the process of individuation, becoming the fullest expression of oneself, involves facing and integrating these trials. Avoiding challenges or seeking easy wins might give temporary relief, but it also prevents genuine growth. Instead, embracing difficulty reveals your capacity for perseverance and deepens your understanding of what truly matters. The trials we face are often deeply personal. They reveal our hidden fears, unexamined beliefs, and weaknesses. When you confront these issues head-on, you learn more about your true self. Sometimes, The challenge lies in overcoming internal resistance. Fear of failure, fear of success, or feelings of unworthiness that keeps you stuck. Other times, it's external circumstances, financial hardship, health issues, or interpersonal conflicts that test your resolve. Regardless of the nature of the obstacle, your response to adversity defines the future course of your journey. Jung taught that our greatest growth often stems from the integration of difficult experiences. Rather than avoiding or resenting trials, we are encouraged to see them as necessary elements of soul-making, a process that forges resilience and depth. Each hardship, when faced with courage and curiosity, becomes a teacher, whispering wisdom about your own strength and endurance. The inner journey is about developing the capacity to stay committed, to persevere, not because you're unshakable, but because you recognize that these trials are integral to your evolution. Furthermore, the trials you encounter are what distinguish a fleeting attempt at success from enduring achievement. Many setbacks are unpredictable, and external circumstances often seem unfair or overwhelming. Yet the truly committed persist despite these externalities because they understand the significance of their inner purpose. They hold on to their vision even when the world seems to conspire against them. The resilience built through facing adversity is an inner fortress, a well of strength that sustains you through future storms. Remember that the most profound transformations occur when you are in the midst of struggle, not when it's over. It is in the depths of difficulty that your true character is revealed. Embracing hardship as a vital part of the journey shifts your mindset from one of resistance to one of acceptance. An acceptance that challenges are not a sign of failure, but a necessary process of growth. As Jung observed, the path to wholeness involves grappling with the darker aspects of ourselves and transcending them, often through arduous trials. In essence, every trial has the potential to become a sacred rite of passage, an initiation that prepares you for greater greatness. When viewed through this lens, hardships become opportunities to deepen your resilience, refine your skills, and clarify your purpose. Reflect for a moment on the profound cost of surrendering your dreams before they have fully had a chance to flourish. Every aspiration, no matter how grand or humble, carries with it a piece of your innermost being. When you abandon these hopes prematurely, you are not merely stopping a project or halting an endeavor. You are disconnecting from a vital part of yourself, a part that embodies your purpose, your potential, and your unique contribution to the world. Carl Jung warned that surrendering our inner aspirations before they mature can lead not merely to regret, but to an erosion of the spiritual and emotional core that sustains us throughout life. The emotional toll of giving up too soon is often more silent, but no less devastating than external failures. It manifests as a deep sense of emptiness, a gnawing regret that erodes your sense of identity and purpose. When you abandon your dreams, you may experience a profound disconnect from your authentic self, because those dreams are often the expression of your deepest yearnings, your soul's calling. You might find yourself caught in a state of dissatisfaction, even if outwardly you appear settled or successful. The emotional pain comes from knowing, at some level, that you have let slip an opportunity for growth and fulfillment. Spiritually, giving up on your aspirations can lead to feelings of emptiness, an inner void that stubbornly persists despite external success or comfort. Jung described this as a divided soul, a state in which part of oneself is dormant or repressed, unable to express its truth. This internal disconnect leads to an existential void, where life feels shallow or incongruent. In such moments, many people describe feeling as if they have lost their compass, their sense of meaning drifting aimlessly. That hollow feeling is the subconscious signaling that something vital has been forsaken. The regret of unfulfilled potential can become especially heavy if you reflect on what might have been. Often, this remorse takes the form of what Jung called unfinished business, a haunting sense that parts of you remain unrealized, unexpressed, and unfulfilled. These unresolved longings may persist quietly, influencing your mood, relationships, and overall sense of well-being. Over time, the accumulation of these unfulfilled desires can manifest as despair, bitterness, or a pervasive sense of stagnation. When you prematurely abandon your dreams, you also deprive yourself of the growth and lessons that come from perseverance. Each setback, each moment of doubt, and each failure is an opportunity for self-discovery and refinement. Without these experiences, you miss out on the chance to develop inner resilience, patience, and wisdom. The inability to push through adversity often leaves one unprepared for future challenges. This lack of growth can foster a sense of helplessness and dependence on external circumstances, rather than internal strength. The spiritual toll extends beyond personal regret. It can subtly influence your relationships and your capacity to experience joy and fulfillment. When your inner world is disconnected from your outward actions, a sense of inner discord often arises. You may find yourself feeling anxious, disconnected, or unmotivated, even in the midst of material comfort or social success. This internal dissonance is Jung's warning sign that important aspects of your authentic self remain locked away, sacrificed on the altar of fear, self-doubt, or complacency. Furthermore, giving up on your dreams prematurely can inadvertently reinforce negative patterns of self-criticism and shame. When you abandon your aspirations, you may internalize a harsh narrative, convincing yourself that you are weak, unmotivated, or unworthy of success. This internal critic gains strength whenever you listen to it, reinforcing feelings of inadequacy and diminishing your capacity for self-compassion. Over time, this negative inner dialogue can entrench a cycle of despair and apathy, making it even harder to reconnect with your inner voice of hope and purpose. The most insidious aspect of surrendering prematurely is that it often seems easier in the moment. Facing setbacks and continuing to try can be exhausting, intimidating, and fraught with uncertainty. The easy way out, the immediate relief of giving up, comes with a high price. It promises temporary comfort, but leaves behind a legacy of unfulfilled potential and emotional scars. Jung taught that true growth requires courage, the courage to face discomfort, to confront fear, and to persist even when the outcome remains uncertain. Choosing to give up might seem like a refuge at first, but it ultimately leads to a profound spiritual and emotional impoverishment. In the longer view, each of us is tasked with the responsibility of nurturing our inner dreams and aspirations as if they are sacred seeds. When we let those seeds die prematurely, we are essentially denying the most authentic part of ourselves, the opportunity to flourish. There is a quiet tragedy in not giving ourselves permission to continue despite difficulties, an unspoken loss of opportunity to discover new strengths, develop virtues like patience and humility. Your dreams are invaluable, and the power to keep them alive rests entirely within your hands. The lessons from Jung and countless inspiring stories across cultures remind us that perseverance is a choice, one that requires daily commitment and inner resolve. You've learned today that understanding the unconscious mind, confronting the shadow, recognizing archetypes, avoiding complacency, embracing trials, and honoring the journey of persistence are all integral to transforming your aspirations into reality. But knowledge alone will not change your life. Action is the bridge between intention and achievement. I want you to take this moment as a catalyst for your own inner revolution. The first step is to reaffirm your commitment to your dreams, to reconnect with your deepest purpose, and to acknowledge that your potential is worth every effort. Remember, every great achievement in history and in your own life was born from persistence through adversity, from the willingness to face fears, and from the unshakable belief that your vision matters. Challenges will come, setbacks are inevitable, but your inner strength can carry you through if you refuse to give up. Now, I invite you to transform this insight into a daily practice. Begin each morning with a moment of reflection, reminding yourself of your true why, your inner calling. Visualize yourself embodying the archetypes that inspire resilience. Imagine yourself as a hero, a warrior, a sage, or a creator, standing tall against the winds of doubt and difficulty. Recognize when complacency threatens to creep in and gently redirect your focus back to your purpose. When setbacks occur, and they will, recall that they are parts of your growth journey, not signs of failure. Embrace every obstacle as an opportunity to learn, to deepen your resilience, and to reaffirm your commitment. I also want you to remember that you're not alone in this journey. Every person who has achieved greatness has faced moments of doubt, fear, and failure. Find inspiration in their stories and recognize that perseverance is a universal principle, something you can cultivate within yourself with conscious effort. Share your aspirations with trusted friends, mentors, or communities that uplift and challenge you. Allow those around you to remind you of your strength when your resolve wanes. Seek out stories of others who have faced similar struggles and emerged victorious, as their experiences will serve as proof that persistence pays off. To truly foster ongoing growth, consider establishing a personal ritual, be it journaling your progress, meditating on your intentions, or holding periodic reflection sessions where you evaluate your journey. Celebrate your small victories, acknowledge areas where you can improve, and always remind yourself that inner transformation is a marathon, not a sprint. Remember, the most profound growth happens when you show up every day, regardless of external circumstances or emotional fluctuations. If you want to see real change, then make a pledge to yourself today. Commit to taking consistent, conscious action toward your dreams. Whether it's dedicating a few minutes daily to visualization, learning new skills, or simply reminding yourself of your purpose, small daily actions build the foundation for lasting success. And when doubts threaten to derail you, revisit those actions, reaffirm your commitment, and consciously choose resilience over surrender. And now I want to encourage you to join a community, whether that's subscribing to this channel, engaging with others on similar paths, or participating in groups that nurture personal development. By connecting with like-minded individuals, you create a support system that amplifies your motivation, offers fresh perspectives, and helps you stay accountable. Remember, perseverance is easier when shared. A community provides encouragement during dark times, celebrates your victories, and reminds you that you are part of something greater. So, I invite you to take that next step right now. If this message resonates with your soul and stirs within you a renewed determination, hit the subscribe button below. Join our community of seekers, learners, and pioneers who are committed to transforming their lives and turning dreams into reality. Together, we can support each other, learn from each other, and inspire one another to persevere against all odds. This channel is here to be your companion, to share insights, tools, and stories that keep the flame of your aspirations burning brightly. Remember, your dreams are worth fighting for. Your perseverance, fueled by understanding, courage, and community, can turn your life into the masterpiece it was meant to be. Do not let the fear of failure, the temptations of complacency, or the shadows of doubt dim your inner fire. Instead, choose to ignite it daily and take each step with faith that, no matter how slow or difficult the journey, you are moving closer to the realization of your deepest aspirations. Subscribe now and become part of this empowering journey. Together, let's keep the spirit alive, turn struggles into strengths, and make our dreams a reality that inspires not only ourselves, but also those who follow in our footsteps. Your future, filled with growth, fulfillment, and purpose, starts today.